All right, let's start by giving our praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth, honors to the brethren, doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the true biblical Israelites who will be seeking their salvation by returning back to the Most High. So we back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. This is going to be um, Help from Heaven, number 7. Again, Help from Heaven, number 7. It's going to be titled, He Walked on the Water. Again, it's going to be titled, Walked on the Water. But before we get started, we're going to start right here. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So yeah, we will have hope in the things that are written. But in order to know the things that are written, you gotta read. And we can hope in all the miracles that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has done for us before. And to expect even greater miracles than the things that are written. But it's good to know what's written so hey, you can know what to pray for in certain situations. Because it ain't nothing that we about to go through in this time of Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation, that's not already pre-recorded in the scriptures. You can see what the Lord did. You can see what the Lord did then, so you can know what the Lord is going to do now. Ain't nothing we about to encounter that's not written in the scriptures. All right, so yeah, that's why it's important to read. Because the things written in the past was written for our learning in this generation to give us hope. Because Revelation 12 and 17, the dragon, who is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. These are days that we're coming into, which will be the remnant of Israel, and particularly those who keep the commandments of God and had a testimony of Yahweh Shah. So those of us in this truth, because Esau, Edom, the dragon, the devil, he know we got next. We the biggest threat to his new world order because we got next. So they're gonna come and make war. And how do you make war? Through your military. That's why Esau been beefing up his military all over the world. America, Europe, they ain't beefed up their military, just for Russia and China. They did it for us, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians right here in America. And they gonna come with things that the world has never seen before against us. And then when you hear Isaiah 19:59 and 19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, who is the enemy? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and everybody that's joined to him. Through his United Nations um, military, in which all countries in the world are part of the United Nations. So Esau gonna have people from all over the earth come to America to come up against us. Even including U.S. military. That's why these illegal immigrants over here. That's part of Esau's secret armed forces. But anyways, the enemy shall come in like a flood, and the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. We're going to get into the standard later on. So yeah, the enemy's going to come in like a flood to make war with the true believers who got this truth. And then again, the enemy going to come in like a flood. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, those of us who got the truth. But again, it says there shall be in every place and in the next city. So every place, every city, because the enemy gonna come in like a flood, to make war with us. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. Why? Because they're gonna be everywhere. That's why they're gonna come in like a flood, and they're gonna be in every place, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. That's all cool. So, Esau will try to besiege us in the cities. He gonna cut the lights out on us, so we ain't gonna know where we going in the middle of the night with all kind of chaos and hell breaking loose, just like the time in ancient Egypt when our people, fled Egypt. They got kind of confused and entangled in the wilderness. So we gonna get that real quick. This is Exodus chapter 14. We just start from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, that they may turn and encamp before Pahariath, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baalzephon. Before it, ye shall encamp by the sea. So the Lord told the children of Israel, hey, run towards the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness have shut them in. So he knew that Pharaoh would say, yo, they trapped between the sea and the wilderness. They got nowhere to go. And that's what Esau gonna try to do when he come in like a flood. That's why 2 Ezra 16 and 70, there shall be in every place and in the next cities. Insurrection. So it's gonna be nowhere we can go to flee from the dragon. That's gonna come down with great wrath. Me, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But anyways, Esau gonna figure that he got us trapped in the wilderness or trapped by a sea, by a lake, by a river, by a pond. But guess what? He ain't got us. But before we get to the meat of the lesson, we gonna hit 2 Maccabees 15 and 7. But Maccabees had ever short confidence that the Lord will help him. And we got that same confidence. Why? Because of the things that were written aforetime. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen. Because remember, the enemy gonna come in like a flood. You remember, it's gonna be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection on us that got this truth. But not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which shall come unto them from the Almighty. So that's what these lessons are set up to do, to remember the help that our ancestors received from the Most High back then, and to expect it now, because this is the lifetime where we're going to get the victory. So when you find yourself, for example, entangled in the wilderness, you got wilderness, desert, trees. Behind you and in front of you is nothing but a sea, a lake, a river, a body of water, swamp, and you got nowhere to go. Why? Because Esau closing in on you. Well, what can you remember? You can remember Matthew 14. Now let's start there from verse 22. Straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves. Remember, the enemy gonna come in like a flood. So the enemy gonna come in like waves, to overtake us. For the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went up to them, walking on the sea. So back to Exodus 14 and 3. If you find yourself entangled in the land, trapped in the wilderness, trees and deserts surrounding you, and you got rivers and lakes, possibly the ocean, ponds, swamps surrounding you, you got nowhere to go. The enemy closing in on you because they coming in like a flood. Well, remember the help from heaven. Remember Yahushua, how he walked on the sea. Let's continue. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, it is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he, Yahushua, said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. So yeah, again, back to Exodus 14 and 3, Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness hath shut them in. So you might be surrounded by trees, mountains, just open wilderness, a big old river, a lake, a pond. It might be the ocean. You might think you trapped, but no. According to Maccabees, Second Maccabees, 15:8, don't fear the coming of the heathen against us, but remember the help from heaven that we received in former times. So yeah, when you find yourself surrounded by mountains and trees, maybe the ocean, a river, a lake, well, remember Yahweh Shai. Remember Peter, how he walked on the water. That's not off limits. Because when we go back to Isaiah 59:19, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Well, when we get this word standard in the Blue Letter Bible,
Strong's H 5127. Noose.
You're going to fast forward.
27. Noose.
So the Lord is going to lift up a standard against the enemy for our sake. And lift up a standard means the Lord is going to provide a way for us to flee or to escape. So some brothers literally going to take flight. Some literally going to disappear along with the true believers. And it also says to put to flight. So brothers going to get spiritual powers to what? To drive off the enemy. Well, guess what? In part of this standard being lifted up, you can include walk on water. Because that walking on water is what's required for our escape in a certain situation. The Lord gonna do just that for us. He did it before. Why wouldn't he do it again? And when we hit Ecclesiastes 1:10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? So when the people who not part of this, they see us escape, because the Lord lifted up that standard, and we walking on the water, walking on the ocean. And brothers had dreams about this. I had one too. When people see this, they're gonna be like, damn, this is new. Some people may be able to recall the scriptures, but their mind's gonna be too far gone for their mind to even be on the scriptures. Well, guess what? It's gonna be new to them, but it's not new to the earth. It have already been of old time, which was before us. So yeah, Yahweh Shai walked on the water. And then who else walked on the water? Peter. Hey, that represents the elect in this lifetime. Hey, best believe, expect to walk on water. And and it's not so that you could stunt or show out. Because, like, our people, all they want to do is stunt and show out. Like, look what I can do. No, the Lord going to allow us to walk on water, but it's not for stunting purposes. It's for escape. Because that's going to be the only thing that matter. Yeah, is that we escape. And then when we hit, we're going to hit 1 John 5:14 real quick. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. So yeah, if we ask anything according to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, we ask anything that lines up with the will of the Lord that's written in the scriptures, he's going to hear our prayers and do just that. Because going back to Matthew 14, I think we're going to start at 28. Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. So Peter asked with confidence, Lord, if this really you, let me walk on the water. And Yahweh Shai said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahweh Shai. So it's in the Lord's will. Because Peter said, if you bid me, Yahweh Shai said, come. That ain't just speaking to Peter back then, it's speaking to Peter now. In the whole house of David, the remnant, the elect. And then from here, when we go to John 14:12, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, he shall do also. What did Yahweh Shai do? He walked on water. Yahweh Shai said, the works that I do, ye shall do also. So expect to walk on water for part of that standard, for that standard being lifted, that you and the other sincere believers may escape. And greater works than these shall ye do. So it's not going to just be us brothers walking on the water. You know, we're going to be having children and other men and women walking on the water too, if it's necessary for our escape. Because I go unto the Father, Yahweh Shah, you know, nothing is going to be off limits to the elect, flying, disappearing, walking on water, walking up a waterfall. Nothing is going to be off limits to the elect. Whatever is needed for our escape. And people's heads going to explode when they see it. So that's it. This is Help from Heaven, number 7. Again, when you find yourself entangled in the wilderness, just like our people were coming out of Egypt, expect the help from heaven. Remember the help and expect the help from heaven, because the victory is coming. All right, that's it for this lesson here. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.